All right, so let's keep this thing moving here, okay? So now we're going into usability organization. Both of these systems have a phenomenal preset and sound browser. There is no question about it. Keyboard compatibility is outstanding, whether you own a Komplete controller or anything in the family line of Arturia. Compatibility is great. Everything just works. It's wonderful. Let's go into some other concepts that could be helpful. Standalone versions of native instruments are few. You're not going to get much contact, massive, reactor absence. Just a couple of these are available via standalone, whereas Arturia makes pretty much everything available. So there's that to consider. So there are two things that Arturia is doing really, really well here. Besides just the overall layout, really easy, friendly to look at, really easy to organize your own personal stuff. We hover here, the bottom right, there's a history tab. So let's say I go through 500 presets and I think to myself, oh, you know what? There was that one that I really liked, or I don't know, maybe we make an adjustment here and you forgot the course of events. You can always backtrack. On top of that, there's a recently played category on the left. So if maybe you were jamming yesterday, you can always go back to that sound, on top of making sure you favorite, which of course you can do in Komplete Control as well. The other thing that I want to point out, besides all these standalones, there's a feature that is absolutely imperative for beginners: the in-app tutorial. It is unprecedented. I've never seen anything like it. I believe every plugin company should do it to some extent. If I click on the gear icon here and I go to tutorials, look at this. Isn't this amazing? So let's say I want a general introduction on this synthesizer. You can go ahead and start learning right away. Why don't I resize this and let's get an introduction into this synthesizer. The Dx7 Fm Synthesis went viral when the Dx7 was introduced in the 1980s. FM Synthesis takes one waveform, the modulator, and it uses it to modulate a second waveform called the carrier. This process creates sounds that are radically different from other synthesis methods. This absolutely blows Komplete Control out of the water. That feature alone, I wish I would have had this years ago. Not only can I get a historical lesson on the instrument, but if we continue on a bit more, we learn all of the controllers, we learn all of the dials, which is amazing. We can take this in a step-by-step process, learning these very complicated plugins that for some are very challenging to learn. There you go, guys. Just another reason to look at Arturia and really take a cold, hard look. Is this something better for me? Is this a better decision for my music? And is it a sound decision for my career? So again, Native Instruments doesn't have many standalones. So if you want to spend time with the instrument, you're not going to be able to do it with most of them. And then as far as my understanding goes, we don't have a history tab with Native Instruments. So in this way, again, Arturia takes the W. This is just incredible what we're able to experience these days, and really at a low cost. So in terms of organization, I think they both work quite well. I personally like the Analog Labs aesthetic a little bit more. The history tab is phenomenal as well, especially for beginners. In my estimations, this is obviously subjective, but I think the synths sound better as well. And we're actually going to start doing some of those tests where we play and compare the synthesizers. So let's get right into it. I'll catch you in the next video.